Welcome, everybody. I am Steve Drost. With me, as always, we've got Will Kaplan. Of course, we're both from the Quivr CRM team, where what is our mission, Will? To help real financial planners do real financial planning as efficiently as possible. Now, today, Will, we get to talk about a product update that I'm going to be honest, I'm probably a little too excited about, and that is the homepage.
Yeah, this is a weird one, right? Because it's like, we had a user say something about it was like the update that I didn't know I needed. It feels like it's kind of a little tiny thing, but it's Pandora's box, right? Like it's a brave new world out there because you can really change the way that you interact with your Quiver data now.
For sure. So in this conversation, what I want to do is rehash the philosophy behind the homepage, what we are trying to do, what we're trying to provide to our users. And then I also want to talk about, of course, what it looks like now, what the functionality is, how you can interact with it, not only yourself, but other members of your firm. And then selfishly, the last thing I want to talk about is where we're going with it. But of course, more importantly, how you guys can all help, right? Where we're going with this. So high level, right? The homepage is meant to tell you what you need to do today, give you all of that information about what's going on in your firm. Now, how this differs from quite a lot of CRMs is we didn't just show you your revenue and your new business and stuff like that, because as important as that is, we always thought it was more important to show you the tasks you needed to do. And then also the things that are going on with clients that you're involved with, but you don't need to work on. And the story I always tell our users and prospective users is that my old firm, there was an RAA, 30, 35 employees. And if I wanted to know what was going on with all of the clients I was working on, I had to go to 5 or 6 people's desks and ask a bunch of questions. And I liked these people, but it would take me an hour, or worse, they'd come and interrupt me all the time because I'd have to tell them. It's like, how can we avoid that? And that's really where the premise from the homepage came, is what information does an advisor need? What information does a paraplanner need? What information does a CSA need? And if we just give people that information on the homepage, which, by the way, that data is already in your system, we're just presenting it in a specific way. If we just present it to you in a specific way, then hopefully we can significantly reduce the use of interoffice communication on Slack, email, tapping people on the desk, making phone calls. Anything you want to add to that, Will?
No, I think what's kind of cool about this is you mentioned kind of that overall philosophy, and it's this idea that we want to give you kind of glanceable data. You can just kind of walk by and get like a really quick, right, this is what I'm supposed to be doing today. But now, because it's a little bit more modular, because we're giving you a little bit more, more functionality and that same glanceable look just into more parts of the practice. So it's not just about tasks now. Maybe it's about business development, or it's just about like, all the processes are running or the workflows that you've got. Like you're getting that same, I can just glance at the screen and kind of get a sense of where I am today, but about more stuff.
For sure, for sure. And then also when we talk about that stuff, the chief compliance officer is going to want to see different stuff than a CSA, and they're going to want to see different stuff than the CIO, and they're going to want to see different stuff than the executive assistant. And they're going to, right? Everybody wants to see different things. And I mean, I'll share my screen here. And for those of you listening, not watching, I mean, one of the not bigger issues, but bigger challenges that we did face with all of this, right? How can we allow people to see that different stuff at the exact right time, right?
Yeah, I think that's such a big part of it too, is you're absolutely right. I remember one of the last big firms that I worked at, you'd log in, it was a Salesforce firm, and they had the homepage set out in a certain way that nobody used it. Like the C-suite was like, "Oh, I love this homepage." And all of the ops, all of the advisors, everyone else was like, "It's totally useless. It doesn't help me at all." And so this is our take on, to your point, fixing that issue.
Exactly. So what it used to be, we're actually on our 3rd iteration of the homepage, by the way. The first one, too embarrassed to even talk about. So we're not going to talk about V1. V2 has been in the system for probably, I don't know, a year and a half now. And what it used to look like is you had 3 columns. It was my task, team tasks, and firm items. And it showed you everything you were working on the left. It showed you your meetings. The middle right, it showed you what your team was working on. And again, how does Quivr work? Every household has a primary advisor, a secondary advisor, right? They have that advisory team, the CSA. And let's say I'm the primary advisor on the Halperts, but my CSA is sending them money. Well, I want to see that right here so that I know they're working on that. And then there's another widget that you could see that would say if it got done. So, right, so it's either there in this box showing you that it's getting worked on, or it's in a different box showing you that it's done. Right. So we had this kind of one size fits all homepage, and it was fine. Like, I mean, personally, I liked it because, let's be honest, it was probably more tailored to an advisor than anything else. But how we fundamentally shifted that is really twofold. The first one is, instead of the 10 boxes that we used to have, we now have about, I think there's 35, I don't know, somewhere around there. And then instead of being forced to see specific ones, you can now pick the layout that you want. So the end result is a CSA who wants to see different things than the chief compliance officer can do that, right? So the chief compliance officer might not necessarily care about meetings. Maybe they're not in client meetings, but they might care more about workflow instances or projects. So they can elect to show those things on their homepage instead. So how this works then is every single user, you get to customize it however you want. This top right box, top little right thing button here where it says edit homepage, you go ahead and you click on that. And we do give you we kind of give you where we think most people might want to start. But these tabs right here, right? The support, financials, biz dev, right? You see those on your homepage right here: workflows, projects, biz dev, support. You see all those things. Well, let's say that you don't need them all. You could simply come in here, hit edit homepage, click on, business development, and you could hit this red box and it would just go away. Or let's say you want a new tab and you want to just call it, I think I just hit this button, right? Yeah, down here. You just hit new tab. Oh, I already did it actually. Sorry. See how easy it is? Right here. I made 2 new tabs. Let's say I don't want it. Go ahead and hit delete current tab. Now I only have 1. Well, new tab is a pretty bad name for a tab. So let's just call this cool new stuff. And let's hit save, right? Well, we actually don't have to hit save. Well, do we? Yeah, we do. It's right there. So now if we close this, it'll refresh and we now have a new tab called cool new stuff. And you click on it. Well, there's nothing here because you get to go back to edit your homepage and you can pick how many columns do you want? How much information do you want? So let's go back to this cool new stuff and just call this column 1, right? Again, you are in control and you can pick what things or thing you want to be in that column and you can hit save. Well, in this situation, I only have 1 column, so I can close this. It'll refresh. I click my cool new stuff and here's all that stuff that I just put there. So if we look at the things that you can add, we're giving you information into the meeting prep, right? What meeting prep am I working on and what meeting prep is my team working on? We're giving you information on activities. What am I working on and what have I completed? What is my team working on and what are they completed? But think about all these other things. Project management. Maybe I want to see all open projects on my team. So what that would mean is if I'm an advisor on the Halperts and there's an open project, it'll show up in my list of projects that are being worked on. But what we're trying to do here as well is, what about your director of financial planning? Or what about your director of client service or your chief operating officer? They care about information that's happening on a specific team, but they also care probably more about what is going on at the entire firm level. So they're able to come in here and just say, show me every project that's been closed in the firm and every project that is open. Move those over. They now get the insight to just everything right on their homepage. Or let's say we take that same thing and we put it to workflow instances. Show me all open and completed workflow instances. What workflows are being worked on? Who's working on them? Now you have insight to what, maybe who's busy, how fast things are taking, how long things are taking, where things might be falling apart, how busy the onboarding team is. You can now see into that information there at a firm level, whereas the CSA doing the work might not necessarily care about every workflow in the system, but they're going to want to see everything that they are working on. But then their supervisor or manager or director is going to want to know everything. So how can we provide different people and different levels of employees the information that they need right at their fingertips?
Yeah, and again, what I love about this is it is that glanceable information. It's not necessarily meant to be everything that you could possibly want about that topic, but it's the high level of, do I need to pay attention to this? Do I need to do something with it today? Or is this enough to kind of get me through the high level information I need? But you can always dig deeper if you need to. And I think as we go forward in time, my intuition is that we're going to get more of these. We're going to think of some, but more importantly, I think our user base is going to, probably do some of that heavy lifting for us too and say, I want this, I want that. And that's just, I think, going to help everybody. I mean, to me, that's the exciting part about this, is that as good as we think it is right now, which I think is pretty good, it's only going to get better.
I remember a conversation, Will, that you and I had towards the end of development of this update. And we were sitting there thinking, we know that we need more widgets. What other widgets are there? And we had a few minutes where we just didn't think of any more. And I remember looking at you and say, Will, we don't need to think of everything and I remember we rattled off 5 of our users' names. And I'm like, I know these, XYZ, ABC, these people are going to catch on quickly to what we're trying to do. And in our announcement email, we told people very clearly, let us know if there are widgets that you want. And we've already gotten, I think, 5 or 6 requests from people. And our intention is over the next month, we're just going to consolidate a list. And then me, you, and our developers are going to sit down and we're going to figure out which ones can we make, right? I know one of the ones that people wanted to see was show me every open task related to the firm. And when I say firm there, I mean like firm specific tasks, like reviewing QuickBooks and reviewing your investments and your drift report. I never would have thought of that. That's on the list. I know we can do it. So guess what? In the not too near future, that will be a new widget. I
Right,
know,
coming soon.
right? I know for a fact we're going to have somebody who goes really deep into something, whether it's a workflow item or, who knows? It's going to get pushed. One person wanted to see a list of every task and meeting completed by their team. Well, we're already querying completed meetings and we're already querying completed tasks. Doesn't make any sense that we can't do that, right? So I would envision that getting pushed. So,
And what is just, it's a little terrifying, but it's also really exciting. There's so much opportunity here for people to come up with great ones. Like, I know that one of the ones that we talked about early on that I don't think is in there right now is like, show me all of my clients that we haven't had a meeting with in the last 6 months or the last 12 months or things like that, where we're, dipping into the meeting module a little bit, or show me all of my investment accounts that, maybe have gotten a contribution or something like that, or that are supposed to get a contribution. The ways to slice and dice all of this data and then keep it at a really high level, just to, again, like that concept of glanceable data. If I need to look deeper, I can, but here's just enough to kind of let me sleep tonight. That I think is what's just amazing about this is there's so many different directions that people can go with this. And I'm really excited to hear from our users what they want more of and what they, what's going to help them with their practice.
I'm excited as well. I also think it's going to be, I would expect our forums to talk about these. I also am kind of excited to see, I bet people are going to make homepages and share them with others. I think this view is great. I mean, selfishly, I think most of our users know that my planning firm is the first firm to get everything, because when we think everything is good, we send it to me so I can try to break it. That way, if there's an issue, we don't interrupt our other users.
Right.
And I couldn't break it, which was great. I wasn't able to break it. I'm sure we'll have somebody that can figure out a way, but I couldn't figure out a way to break it. And then what did I do immediately after that? I completely changed mine. I wanted to have my tasks and completed tasks on the left. I wanted to have my mom as my admin. I think most people know that. I wanted to have her tasks and completed tasks in the middle. And then I wanted to have meeting prep and meeting follow-up over on the right. And I want nothing else, nothing else. I don't care about integrations because my mom handles that. I don't care about projects because she handles that. So I have 6 boxes on my homepage. I don't have to glance over anything. I just have the exact information that I need and nothing else. And that is my daily docket tab. And I love it. But I saw my mom's. I don't know if I shared this with, I don't even think I shared this with you. She did the exact opposite. She actually got rid of all of the tabs and she added a bunch of boxes to the main page. And she said she likes that because she just likes to scroll down. And she like the way I think. And I'm like, Mom, your homepage, I hate it, but that's okay because you can do that because everybody's homepage is user specific. So if I make changes, it doesn't impact her and vice versa.
That's what's so fantastic about this is like, you're doing 3 columns, she's doing a single column. It lets like we're trying to meet people where they are, how they think. She's super happy now because now the information is much more in the way that she thinks about it. She can just go topic and be like, do I have any meeting stuff? Nope. Okay, I can scroll further down. Do I have any task stuff? Nope. Scroll further down. Do I have an integration stuff? Nope. Scroll further down. Whereas you and I are like, no, I want to see like, because I'm the same way. Like I want a couple boxes. I don't want as many boxes as we had on version 2. Like I'm glad to be able to drop some of them off now. But that's what's great about this is that, each user, each role, you can really customize this and make it your own and get at the data that you want to see. That's going to make you more productive in your day.
I'm excited. We've received a lot of really good feedback already. The cool part is I haven't seen an issue ticket. I've seen some tickets are a way that people will make requests. So we've had tickets pertaining to the homepage, but those are, can you make this widget, right? That's just their way of getting on our list, which is great. And we told people to do that, but I haven't heard anything negative about it. A lot of positive about it. Office hours this week was great. We had a few users who have been diving into it and they were sharing what they're doing with it, sharing them actually, which is cool. So I'm really excited. I look at this as, phase 3 of the homepage. And all we did, truthfully, was we built the foundation. And now our user base is going to dictate really where this goes. And we have, like I said, we got a lot of users, a lot of firms, a lot of different types of people that are doing different types of work. I'm very excited to get that feedback.
Yeah, again, it's like, I mean, to go back to the user that sent us some praise in a ticket, this is the update I didn't know I needed. Like, it's kind of a little bit of a sleeper. We snuck it in pretty close after workflows. Like, development team has been busy, but this is a big one. I mean, from a like make my day better, make my life better. It doesn't seem like it's a big deal, but it kind of is.
It is. No, I'm excited and excited to see where it goes. So the third thing I said that we would talk about today, I think I already said it, but I'm going to say it one more time. Current users, tell us, please tell us if there are additional widgets that you want. Shoot that in. You know how to submit a ticket. Please do that. Send that in there. We are compiling them. I promise next month. It's July 17th. We're recording this today. I promise you in August, we will be looking at those, and our hope is to have additional widgets pushed next month. Otherwise, thank you very much, everybody. Most of our users, most of the feedback from this entire thing, let alone the future widgets, actually came from our users. They don't even realize it, but it was can I have this on my homepage? Can my admin have this on their homepage? So thank you for sharing that feedback. I'm convinced we have the best user base in fintech. This is awesome. And continue to please let us know how we can keep making this product better and better and better. But that's a wrap. If you're a current user, again, thank you. If you're not, that's okay. Remember, nobody's perfect. But don't forget, schedule a demo. Come hang out with me. Come hang out with Will. And come see live what Quivr can do for you.